Comics every day.
These people keep on jumping back over here. 60% chance of rain tonight. That's
Well,
gonna
no,
be rough.
weather's going to be horrible. I mean, as you guys can tell, for the past 4 days, it's been
pretty
raining
sick.
at the same time every day.
We actually even had hail.
Yes, we did. Fist-sized chunks of hail, the largest hail in Florida history, I think.
Wow, rough.
Wow.
So as we aired on Wednesday on our midweek report, I attended the faculty senate meeting where they discussed certainly important topics. Among them, one of the guests who is a trustee, Kirk Landon, he discussed the need for FIU's increase of donations, and he also briefly mentioned how the more the FIU students who graduate and move on onto their fields, and the older they get, is the larger donations that we'll probably be getting. And I know Maria also attended the Board of Governors meeting yesterday, correct?
Yes, I did. And well, they haven't approved anything yet, but some of the things that they were discussing included having a mandatory insurance for all the students. I don't know what you guys think about that. It was approved. It was passed in Florida State University a couple of months ago, and from now on, all incoming freshmen will have to pay. I think it was $1,400 for insurance.
What kind of insurance?
It has. I wrote down the benefits, but it covers international travel up to $250,000 of medical expenses.
Well, why? I don't understand. Why does the university need to make all students have this?
Oh, the problem is that what they were saying is that 4,000 students dropped out of college in Florida last year because of medical reasons, and 600 of them from FIU. So they were saying that it would help students to finish their degree. But the question is, out of all those 4,000 students, how many wouldn't leave if they had their expenses covered? Because sometimes they might leave because they're left in a condition that they cannot attend to class. So having or not having insurance wouldn't really make a difference.
I know that a large majority of students probably don't have insurance unless you have a full-time job, or unless you're covered by a private insurance company.
Or a family plan.
Or a family plan.
Most don't. And the number one medical condition is mental health, depression, anxiety.
So this $1,400, it's just a one-time fee, or it's once per year?
Once per year. But that's for Florida State University, though. If what they were saying is if they pass this state regulation, the state will pay half of the cost. So it will only cost. It will be like $500 per year for students.
So I mean, is this going to be insurance that's like done like it's going to be conducted in the same manner like car insurance is conducted? Like
yeah, but
yeah, tell me about it.
But what they were saying is that if they get all these thousands of students to register to pay for insurance, they were going to get very low rates. So the more people that
but at the same time, you have to remember that some of us who already have insurance, I mean, will people who already have insurance be able to waive the requirement, or do we still have to buy a plan through the university?
Oh, it will be through there were different levels. They didn't know to what extreme to take it, because they were considering either having a waiver. If you had your own insurance, your family insurance, you could provide proof of that. And then the extreme will be that you have to purchase its insurance through the university.
See, but what I don't understand is a lot of people, live, safely without health insurance because they realize that, they're in good enough health that they want to take the risk. They don't really need to.
They're in good health to
take
the risk.
It's the truth. I mean, a lot of people I know have lived without health insurance and they did just fine. They paid out of pocket for their medical expenses. What I'm saying is, why is this university forcing people to make a certain decision that they might not necessarily want to make?
Well, I'm sure it has to be approved. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm sure it has to be approved by the faculty senate and all that first.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be just passed that easily. However, if it is passed, I'm hoping or I'm thinking that they will probably give an option to students who do have insurance already.
Well, no, obviously.
There will be. What they're saying is that sometimes students have some minor symptoms and they don't want to go to the doctor because they don't want to have to pay like I don't know how much a regular visit costs. So they just wait until it gets worse, and then they cannot pay that. And another thing they were saying is that they would pay for the cost of insurance for grad students or for TAs or students doing research, because they want to make Florida more competitive in attracting
So
grad
they would
students.
pay it for grad students?
Yeah, they will offer grads.
So all of us who are undergrads are.
Yeah.
That.
Well, they wanna make the state more the higher education more competitive at the
Well, you see,
national
what I
level.
don't understand is, I mean, this plan has two flaws. First of all, you have the flaw of forcing people to buy something that they might not necessarily want to buy, and at the same time, you also have the state footing half the bill for it, which means forcing other people who pay taxes to the state to pay for other people's health insurance. So, I mean, I'm not really understanding the logic behind this.
What?
Exactly. I don't know. I don't know what that said. It sucks.
I don't know.
Can we even air that?
You're the one who was saying that. Anyways, go back to what you're saying.
Oh no, I'm about finished. I mean, it's just the double, it's just the double edge. It has double edged flaws, I guess.
Another thing that I wasn't at the board of governors meeting, but on Tuesday when they were at the faculty senate meeting, they were discussing the need for at least the UFF report from vice president of the UFF. She was discussing the need for increase of salaries for professors. And even though they got I think it's a 3% increase last year, they're hoping to lobby for another increase this year. Is that something?
And we as we established last time, that was going to come out of state funds also, right?
Well, since Governor Christ vetoed the bill that would have increased tuition, we're not getting an increase in tuition for now. Yeah, it would come out of state fund.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of concerned that it appears that there's a lot of new things that are falling on the state's plate, and I mean, I'm a little surprised that at the same time our taxes haven't gone up, and what I imagine is that maybe next legislative cycle we are gonna see a tax increase.
Yeah, they were talking about that at the Board of Governors yesterday too, and they were considering freezing freshman enrollment because if they're not getting more money through tuition, then it's just getting too expensive to.
Well, I mean, I don't see the point in freezing freshman enrollment. I think a more natural way of doing it would be simply raising
tougher admissions.
I know, either tougher admissions or raising tuition.
So how much a percentage should they raise?
I mean, I think they should raise at least enough to sufficiently support the freshmen that are coming in. I mean, because right now our tuition is quite low. You know, it is quite low considering that, you know, this is a university and, you know.
Well, all state universities are about the same price. If you look at UFF or FSU,
but compared from at the national level, we have some of the lowest tuition rates.
Right, in general.
Well, certainly a concern that they will discuss. And one thing that was cut yesterday was their property taxes for whoever owns a house out there. Legislators ended a special session, and now voters are going to go to the polls in January to vote on this. So what they're proposing is to get rid of the current homestead exemption of $25,000 and increase it based on property values. And I believe if your home is worth more than $400,000 or $500,000, it'll be about 75%. No, I'm sorry, that's if it's up to $200,000. So that's certainly something that's going to make a lot of people across Florida happy. Some people are
75% exemption on what? Capital gains or
on property tax, meaning that you only pay on the first 25%.
Right. So I guess what the property tax is in general is that annually, depending on the value of your house, you have to pay a certain amount.
Yeah.
Amount. Okay.
Oh, and it's also not going. I think it's also going to be based on individual property value, not necessarily on, for example, community like the same neighborhood property value. Right. Meaning something like that currently happens with the housing market when someone sells a house. If your neighbor sold at $400,000. More people are more likely to sell it at $415,000, $420,000. So it's going to be based more on individual. But however, voters are going to take to the polls in January and vote on this. Although some protesters out there from the fire department, police departments of local municipalities were against this because they believe that funds are going to be cut among counties, which is something that it's going to decrease certain salaries and certain staff cuts also. That's concerned this week. So we just covered the faculty senate, board of governors, property taxes. Hey, did we go over Rosh